Hi everyone, Teddy here.
And I'm Courtney, and today we are finally doing a video for all you ladies out there that are watching. This has been highly requested, so we're finally getting around to it. In this video specifically, we're taking a look at 9 of my most worn fragrances from this year. Also guys, for this video in particular, it's going to be niche fragrances. Definitely going to do a designer list as well, so just something to keep in mind.
And I'm gonna be the person reacting.
Yes.
Giving some male perspective on these fragrances. I've smelled all of these before,
Yeah.
on you of course, so I am maybe a little biased, but I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna say which ones I don't like and which ones I do like.
Perfect. The tables have turned.
And I will pick out my top 2 favorite and then 2 least favorite of those 9, so we can keep it interesting. How about that?
Perfect. All right, getting right into it. Number 1 here, we have Atelier des Eaux Lune Feline. This one is pretty new to my collection, but I wear this one quite a bit.
You had samples of this for a long time.
I did, and I knew that I loved it, so I had to get my hands on a full bottle. This one is sweet, it's warm, it's spicy, you kind of get that dusty opening. It's subtle, you get a dim vanilla. It's also a dark fragrance, I would say. I definitely wear this one more in the winter time. You get that cardamom, cinnamon, vanilla, pepper. It's a really pretty one. It's sexy.
Mysterious, nighttime fragrance. I would also say that this is, compared to some other ones that I know we're gonna smell, probably leaning more toward the unisex side of things. This is not so much leaning into the world of being like a feminine fragrance to me because of that smokiness. I'm not getting the typical incense type of feel to it, but it's very dense.
Yeah.
So this is one that I think is probably, when you wear this, when you're wearing this during the colder months, it works, but I don't know, maybe not my favorite that you have on the table, so we'll see.
Sultry, sexy, dark vibes. Okay, next we have one that is very different from that one, and that is Amouage Honor Woman. This one is ultra feminine. If I wake up and I put on a very classy, elegant, feminine outfit, I want to smell like a sophisticated lady, this is the one that I gravitate towards. You get that gardenia, tuberose, jasmine, rhubarb, lily of the valley.
Very, a lot of that.
Very strong on lily of the valley. Carnation. I mean, this is just exactly what you think of when you think of ultra feminine. It's floral. This one just really always makes me feel like a classy lady.
Very floral.
Yeah.
But very nice, elegant. Lily of the Valley. I do get some of the rhubarb. I just love rhubarb. This is more classic, conventional, traditional in terms of like the feminine approach to a fragrance. Elegant as can be.
And I typically don't really like floral fragrances, but this one is one that I have found myself wearing a lot lately, especially for spring and summer. It's a good spring scent.
And beautiful bottle as always.
Next one is one that people might say is a bit overrated, but I love it, and that is Love Don't Be Shy by Kilian. This one is so sweet. It's sugary, you get that marshmallow, caramel, vanilla, but then you also have the white flowers of neroli, orange blossom, honeysuckle, has a little bit of rose in there. You love it or you hate it. It's gourmand, it's delicious.
It smells like a sugar cube, vanilla.
Yeah.
It's very sweet. Gourmand as can be. Like this is like, you almost want to have, and this smells like a straight dessert.
Lick the stick.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure how I felt about it, but then after I left the store, I continued to think about it, so I decided to order it. This is not something I would typically wear on a very hot day in the summer because it's almost too sticky. I like this one in the winter time a lot for like a date night or something like that, but again, be wary of the amount of sprays that you use and the time of year that you're wearing it because it can feel a bit saturated and sticky.
You do a nice job of not overspraying. Like you're very light with how you spray. Like
I use like 2 sprays.
Yeah. And for most people I know in the fragrance community, it's like they go nuts.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
like
am a sissy sprayer.
Yeah, I'm like 3 to 5 sprays. I'm typically,
Yeah.
unless I want to get maybe another spray on my clothes, but that's usually what I do. This is one I would not overspray it. No. It's very sweet. I'm typically not in love with the overly sweet fragrances. There's some other ones that are going to be more to that side that we're going to see here shortly that I like a little bit more, but this is nice, more youthful too. Like when I smell this, I smell like a younger woman.
Like early 20s.
Mid 20s to 30s to 40s, but it's sweet. It's fun, and I do think it does have that playful kind of nature to it with like the gourmand structure of it.
And I will also say this one's longevity is out of this world. I will spray this on my clothes. If it hits my clothes smell like this for days after. The staying power is intense. Next up, one of my all-time faves, Imaginary Authors, St. Julep. I have raved about this one since the second I smelled it.
I've smelled this many times. I have worn this many times also. There's days where I've worn this. And we just looked at a sugary fragrance. Yeah. This is also the same type of idea.
But it's not so sickening. You get the sugar cube, mint, tangerine, a little hint of whiskey in there. It really does smell like a mint mojito. I like to wear this one a lot in the spring and the summertime. Emphasis on the summer because I just like the way that it smells on my skin a lot more when my skin is warm. It smells like you're sitting outside by the pool with a nice drink in your hand that has a sugar rim on it. It's great.
Yeah, no, this is so good. It's light. Performance is not good on this, but
No, it's not.
more of a skin scent for intimate environments, but like the day you mentioned, it's perfect.
Yeah, and when we're talking about like on the niche side of things, it's relatively affordable. You can buy these for like what, $90, I think?
Yeah, it's like $95, I believe, for this.
Yeah, a great house to check out if you're just getting started. Next is one that I have been wearing more as it is finally warming up in Cleveland. This is Floris Bergamotto di Positano. It's delicious. It has this vanilla note to it that adds a bit of creaminess that you don't typically get with a citrus fragrance. It's light, it's refreshing. It smells like you are enjoying a nice day in Positano, down by the water. This is in my list of choices for my wedding day.
I love this fragrance. Believe it or not, the first person that told me about this fragrance.
Your dad.
My dad. My dad has like 4 bottles of this stuff. He's had it, like he just has them like, he loves Floris, and he loves this fragrance especially because he's Italian. So this is a fragrance that's right down our alley. It's like a limoncello kind of vibe to it, but it's a subdued lemon. It's not crazy, but when it pairs with that vanilla, it's very classy. But it's light though. It's never going to be overwhelming to those around you. This is one of my favorite ones that you wear as well.
Yeah, I adore that one. Okay, our next one is a bit unique here, and one that you wear a lot too, which is Akro Awake. This is my favorite coffee fragrance that I've ever tried. I am a huge fan of coffee, love the way it smells, so I instantly gravitated towards this one when he started wearing it. And although some might say it leans a little bit more masculine, I think that women can still absolutely pull it off as well. It's definitely unisex. This has a realistic coffee note and a vivid milky cardamom, citrus, subtle. The vetiver kind of appears as it dries down. It's not too overwhelming for me because I don't typically like vetiver that much. I wore this so much during the winter time. Love it.
This to me, if I had to pick my favorite fragrance for me to personally wear out of all of these, by far, this is my favorite. However, on you, I don't know if I can say that. I'll share my opinion at the end, but I love this fragrance. I had this in a few videos now. Whenever we can get a really realistic coffee note with vetiver, like things that I like, I mean, this is right up my alley. This is right for me. So, and I like when you wear it too.
I like that we can share it.
Yep.
The next one here is iconic.
Yes, it is.
Maison Francis Kurkdjian BR 540. Some might say that this one is a bit basic because it has become a lot more popular. It's a very polarizing love it or hate it. I adore it, and I always receive a compliment every single time I wear this. I'm legitimately not exaggerating. If I leave my house wearing this, I get a compliment. And it's not as familiar in Cleveland, Ohio. Like, I never really smelled this on anybody. I know that might change depending on where you're at.
It's good. It's very good. I have worn this too. It has an opulent feel to it. I would say this is probably right now, maybe when you're talking about niche or independent perfumery, maybe the number 2 or number 1 next to Creed Aventus as being the most popular, widely known fragrance. I personally like this more than Creed. I would almost, from Creed Aventus, I just think it's better crafted, more consistency when it comes to different batches. It's very nice. In the scent trail, when this thing dries down, it's very good.
Yeah. It's iconic. I think it's just one of those that will always go down. It will stand the test of time. It's probably the most popular from MFK.
Oh, yes, it is.
Without a doubt.
This and Grand Soir probably right there.
This was the first really expensive bottle of perfume that I've owned. It is, I mean, this huge bottle is like $575. It is no joke. It's pricey.
And you got a bigger one too, so that was the other thing. I mean, you've had like expensive fragrances, but this is like a 200 ml. Like this is like the first time I think you've committed to like, I want this, I want as much as I can of it, and I'm willing to spend a lot more money for it.
Okay, this next one here is Byredo Gypsy Water, and this one is definitely unisex. We both wear this one, but I like to wear this one if I'm going to be outside. It does kind of give a Mother Nature type vibe to it. It has shrubs, pine, woods, but then it has vanilla, so it's kind of just an unorthodox type of fresh scent.
Fragrance for the free spirit.
Which is typically not really my vibe, but if I know I'm going to be outside, I like to wear this one.
This is nice. It is unorthodox, I would say, in terms of some of the notes and mix. It does not lean so far into the feminine category. It's very earthy. Yeah. It does have a lot of like herbaceous and with like the pine, and then you have some sandalwood in here. It just kind of reminds me of like just a free-spirited individual.
Gypsy water.
It matches that classification.
I am interested to try out some other ones from Byredo, but I really like this one too.
They're a nice brand. Everything I've tried from them is well crafted. Their bottles also very simple but clean.
I love it.
And I like this fragrance. This is nice too. Probably middle of the pack for me, but still very pleasant. I wear it sometimes too.
My last one here today is Wilhelm Poets of Berlin. This one is beautiful. I love wearing it. It almost reminds me of a blueberry pastry. You get the vanilla, blueberry, sandalwood, lemon. It's beautiful. I love it.
It's also tad woody, so that's the only thing I would say back to the blueberry pastry. I mean, the blueberry note is so strong off the top, but as it dries down, because we sprayed this a little while before we started shooting, so.
Blueberry pastry in a construction zone.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of that, or maybe some lumber around somewhere. Yeah. I don't know. It's nice. It's nice.
One thing I will say about this one that is like the only con to it is the packaging. When you're trying to keep it in a drawer or store it, it takes up a lot of space. Like the circumference is quite large.
Yes, and it's beautiful. Like it has these nice rivets to the side. It's a beautiful bottle. Yes. Packaging is fantastic.
It's beautiful, but it's just logistically kind of annoying.
Pleasant. This is more of like a spring summer fragrance to me. So performance also not the greatest from what I've seen, but I remember smelling this and I liked this when I first sprayed it, but it does lean way more feminine than I remember when we got a bottle of it.
I think it's the blueberry in there, like the fruitiness, the vanilla. It's pretty. I like to wear it.
All right, Courtney, well, should I pick out my favorite and least favorite now?
Yes, go for it.
Okay, I'll keep it real. Now, let's see. Again, now how I'm judging this really quickly is how I like this off of you.
Okay.
Not necessarily how much I just enjoy these fragrances for myself, because that would warp the actual results.
You would pick Akro every time.
Yeah, I'd pick something very different. So
which ones do you like me wearing? Which ones do you maybe not like as much when I wear them?
I'm going to do least favorite first.
Okay. I knew it.
So on you, it's smoky. It's very resinous. It also is mysterious, which I don't know if necessarily matches your personality as much.
Yeah.
So I would say just from that aspect, as you're somebody that's very bright, inviting, and like very warm, this has, of course, those warm characteristics, but it almost is like with an edge.
Yeah.
And that's
bad girl vibes.
I can see a little bit of that. So nice fragrance, but I would say that's probably of this list in there.
Okay.
And then the other one, just because it's so sweet. Not to say it's a bad fragrance, but it's an expensive fragrance, but it does have characteristics of like fragrances that are much more affordable. This one has way more designer qualities to it. When you lean so much into the sugar and those sweet notes, sometimes that can be overwhelming. So for me, that'd be also one of the bottom two.
Okay, I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
That's what I expected.
It smells good on you. Still smells good, but I just want to set, just for my own personal taste, like for certain guys, I think that could turn them off.
Yeah, I think we actually did a reaction video with this one with guys, and they said it smelled like it was from Claire's. Or like just very young, which I can totally see because of the sweetness. It's almost like a cotton candy body spray from CVS or something.
Yeah, but I still like it. I still like it. It's I think that's a little bit harsh.
But I can see why people think that.
Yes, very sugary. Okay, so those are the two least favorites.
Okay.
Now two favorites. Again, ones that I smell on you.
That you like the most.
I do like this one. Yeah. This is Bergamotto di Positano by Floris. I really do like Floris. This is a perfect mix of classy while also being light and inviting because of the citrus elements. Floris, for a lot of their fragrances, they use a lot of rose, like more oriental notes, and those are when it starts to be very dense and they lean very mature. This is a nice compromise where you get some of that mature feeling without, I think, abandoning the wearability aspect. You could wear this every day during the summer. It's easy to like, and it just, I don't know, it just reminds me of a warm summer day. And I do like when you wear that one because it's a good mix of some of the creamy and kind of sugary elements without leaning so far in that direction either with the citrus. Very nice, pleasant, elegant. It's a classy lady fragrance.
All right, I'll pick another favorite.
This is tough. Now I'm within. I have two, and they actually have very similar characteristics.
I know which ones.
Yes, but to be honest, I don't know. Like this fragrance to me, it just smells so good.
Yeah.
This is one of those fragrances you do smell out in the wild from time to time, unlike pretty much everything else from a niche category. It's just very pleasant. There's, of course, a lot of dupes to this fragrance now that you're going to find, but it's a stretch to say something like this. Very expensive fragrance is worth it, but to me, as a guy, when I smell this, it leaves such a good scent cloud. It's very inviting. I mean, I think it's a sexy fragrance. It smells sophisticated, but also easy to digest, which sometimes is a rare combination that actually works. So I think that would be near the top. I think those have to be the top two for me.
This is honestly my most worn fragrance too. I'm wondering if that kind of left an impression with you a little bit.
Perhaps.
Like
but
you smell this and you think of me or something.
I mean, there could be some of that, but I really am trying to isolate it when I'm thinking about this, and it's just such a good fragrance. I was very close with St. Julep. That was the other one.
They're similar.
But because of the performance, because of the more increased scent trail, I think this is a more complete fragrance, although much more expensive, so you have to keep that in mind. But
yeah.
Good mix of classy and both wearable. This one could be your year-rounder. This one's more for the summer months. I think these two fragrances could just do it all for you.
All right, guys, that is all we have for this video. If you liked it or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to be in the loop for when we release new content. Of course, keep in mind these are all niche fragrances, but I definitely want to do one for designer fragrances as well. And let us know down in the comments what other type of videos you want to see for the ladies out there.
I enjoy doing this in addition to yourself here because I can have a different approach to how I'm experiencing these fragrances and just giving some different type of feedback from more of like the men's perspective than normal. So I like doing this. I'd be happy to do more of this. But all right, guys, thank you again so much for watching. We'll see you all next time.